Hey friends, welcome back to Straight Reads. My name is Abhishek.
Hello everyone, Hiteshu this side, and here we are hosting the episode 2 of our book series. And how are you, Abhishek?
Good. I'm doing good. It was mostly a lazy Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of work done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, cool. How's your day going? I heard you got a vaccine today. How's
Yeah,
the
I got a
experience?
vaccine today, and it was a fun day. I went to the station where the vaccine was happening, and the center. It just took me 5 minutes to get the whole process done, and it was as simple as it goes.
That sounds good, man. I hope I get a slot as well.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a slot from past 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hoping to get it in the coming weeks. Cool. What's on our plate today?
Oh, today is the book review for a very famous Apple-based book. And the book name is Creative Selection Inside Apple's Design Process During the Golden
Good
Age
one.
of Steve Jobs. So, let our viewers know that this book was recommended to me by Abhishek Jangra itself. So it's a fun little book. Let's just go about it. So, as the title aptly said, okay, it's about the creative selection, the process of how Apple, during its golden age, worked to make some great products, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a continual refinement and the application of core values that Apple has and all the cultural philosophies that gel together to bring up a lot of great products like Apple iPad, iPhone, and all that stuff. So that was the basic, right?
Yeah. Let's go. What's the first thing that you are discussing about the book?
सो पहले कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो बुक के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं जो
हाँ.
एक हमें बेस तैयार करके देंगी. बुक में एक चीज़ बहुत अच्छे से डिस्कस करी गई है कि व्हाट आर द कोर वैल्यूज ऑन विच एप्पल वाज बिल्ट ड्यूरिंग इट्स व्हाट कैन यू से द गोल्डन एज. आई फॉरगॉट द वर्ड बट the good thing about this book is it's very positive in a way. You read it and you get inspired positively.
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
I've read it completely once.
Mm-hmm.
I think a year or a year and a half back. It is definitely inspiring for sure.
Yeah. So in the book there were a lot of topics that were discussed. Let me talk about Ken first, the author of this book. So to provide a credibility about his work, let me just tell you, he was one of the authors or one of the programmers, or you can say one of the designers. He was everywhere. So he was the founding members of the people who built Safari, and he was also behind the action of what you see, the virtual keyboard on your phones every day today. So big guy, done a lot of things, wrote a good book about Apple and the insiders work that they do that make them great.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a true product engineer working on all aspects of the product.
Yeah. So in the starting of the book, मतलब एक तरह से ये भी कह सकते हैं कि जो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है जो मैंने बुक से सीखी है, इट्स अबाउट द डेमोस. लाइक there's a lot of talk about all the demos that they do day in and day out, and उसमें ये नहीं है कि हम एक प्रोसेस में अटके हुए हैं, हम एक लंबी चौड़ी मीटिंग चला रहे हैं, हम अपना प्रोडक्ट बना के एक हायर पर्सन को वो चीज़ दिखा रहे हैं और उसके बेसिस पे उसके रिव्यूज़ ले रहे हैं, उसके सजेशन ले रहे हैं. इफ़ इट इज़ ओके तो ऊपर एक लैडर अप किया जा रहा है. ऐसे अप करते करते वो स्टीव जॉब्स तक एंड में जा रहा है. एंड इस प्रोसेस में दे डिडंट वेस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. लाइक एक फीडबैक हुई, एक जनरल हम जो प्रोसेस चलाते हैं उसमें बहुत लंबी मीटिंग्स चलती हैं. लाइक पागल बना रहे हैं उस बंदे का, वो उसको बंदे का पागल बना रहे हैं सॉफ्टवेयर, साल हो गया एक सॉफ्टवेयर ही बनाए जा रहे हैं. दैट इज़ नॉट एप्पल, राइट? They made great products because they had the demo thing sorted out, and their demo culture was really good.
I agree for
Yeah.
sure.
And later on, there was some controversial topic. Well, the way Ken have described them, they don't sound controversial. But to me, हम जब क्वेश्चन पे आएंगे, we will discuss about this. मेरे को वो थोड़े controversial topic लगे when they were talking about Safari and how it came to existence. It was great, it works great, but then everything has two sides. We will discuss about this later. And
Sure.
the third highlighting topic was the impact, or you can say the way of working of Steve Jobs. That
Yeah.
has been addressed a little bit in this book in a great way. He was a great man. Everybody knows about that. And his goal, his alignment to the core values of Apple, that shows a lot during this book.
Definitely. Steve Jobs the way he works is definitely a lot of masala that we can talk about.
Yeah, it's a lot. And the way this book compared the art of developing products to, what can you say, the liberal arts. The way they have compared the two things, it's top of the line.
I hear you.
कुछ बुक्स ऐसी होती हैं जो आप जब उस चीज़ को पढ़ते हो तब आपको रियलाइज़ होता है कि द वन हु इज़ रिव्यूइंग इज़ बेयरली स्क्रैचिंग द सरफेस. आई गेस this is one of those books. I highly recommend everyone read this book. What are your views about this book?
It's one of my all-time favorites. Of course, it's not all good. There are some things which I do not like about it.
Okay.
And we will be discussing that, right? But for sure, a lot of learnings from this if you work on product. If you're a product designer, engineer, even product managers, this book is golden. I would recommend for sure. And let's just jump right into it now.
So the first point of discussion, this is full of masala. This is about Safari. Safari, as we all know, is a web browser, and it was based out of KHTML. It was an open source web browser software that was built in the early 90s. Early or the late 90s, I don't remember exactly. But Safari was made on the top of it. So my first point of discussion is, what's stopping other companies from copying Apple and building a better product out of open source software out available there? There are a lot of softwares, like हम daily basis पे, I think Signal is one of the highlights, right? And ऐसे बहुत सारे software होंगे जो कि open source होंगे. What is stopping big companies from copying their software? They kind of contributed to it as well. Like open source में करा, but जो उन्होंने किया, was it enough?
See, I think other browsers have, if you just talk about the browser market specifically, I think the wonderful thing that I found from the Safari chapter is that initially they just picked up one browser and they worked really hard to make it work within their ecosystem, and it didn't really work out right.
Yeah,
but then they took another approach where they would take the basic framework, build a very small version of the browser on top of that, and then keep adding small layers on top of it. The way he explained that approach was really nice. But about browsers, Safari was definitely based on the open source project, but I guess others as well, right? Firefox is community driven. Yeah. Right, we all know that, and there aren't many browsers in the world at this point anyway, right? There's Safari, Firefox, Chrome, but all other ones, right? Say you take the Brave browser, or there's one called Vivaldi a while back.
The Indian
right?
one.
Yeah, and there's even this one, right? Microsoft Edge. They're all Chromium based now, which is again a community driven project. Right, so I guess there are multiple examples of things like these. And if we look at this thing, the Android thingy, right? So Android is an open source project which people build on top of it, right? OnePlus made their Oxygen OS on top of it, and Google has their own custom version of it for the Pixel devices, which they create on top of it. Samsung has One UI. So I guess it's a good thing, and you can see a couple of examples of it. It was not just Apple who did that, but again, I guess as long as there are multiple people doing it, there is healthy competition in the market. It's a good thing. That's my take on it.
What I wanted to say is that it is tedious. Like, they maneuvered through it. They contributed with the WebKit for the Safari, but they still kept the money minting things about Safari to be a closed source thing. They just didn't tell anyone what's going on at the back.
I guess what you are trying to say is that they did the bare minimum to
Yeah,
get
they
the
did.
access to the open source project, but then everything else built on top of it is still behind
That's
their own
such a-
walls, right?
Yeah, such a
And I-
capitalist approach.
Yeah, it is, and Apple is known to be doing it, right? If you look at other things like, say, the way you make iOS apps, Swift is open source language, right? So Apple can reap some of the community driven benefits, but all of the, as far as I know, except one component, all of the technology used to build iOS apps is all private, and you need a Mac to run it. You cannot set it up on anything else, and it is not. It cannot be accessed by the community other than outside Apple, essentially. So Apple is known to be doing this from a while, and the latest example is this thing, right? The AirTags thing, right? They opened up the Find My network for other companies outside Apple as well. But if you have seen the MKBHD video, you know, right, that the main thing is still behind the walls, and anything, even if they do open source anything to the world, or they open up any of their APIs to the world, it's for their own benefit. I completely agree with that. It's very rare for Apple to do something which is community driven or something like that.
Yeah, in
As
the
far as I
case
know.
of in the case of AirTags, just look at the timing of how and when they opened it up for everyone. Just a week, barely a week before they launched the real product. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't give anyone opportunity to match them up in that. That's like कहने के लिए you have opened everything, but then nothing is open. It's not a fair trade.
Right? By the time you make new products which are compatible with the Find My network, people will be buying AirTags.
Yeah, and the companies are stuck. They should switch or just stick with their guns.
Yeah. So essentially, that's pretty much my opinion around this point. Apple is known to be doing it, and I don't honestly expect Apple to change in the future.
Let's see. So let's come to the second point.
Yeah.
So the second point is about the approach they talk about in this book. Like, they are talking about कि कुछ एक चॉइसेस होती हैं जब हम डिज़ाइनिंग कर रहे होते हैं, हम कुछ चीज़ें बना रहे होते हैं, हम कुछ चीज़ें सोच के चलते हैं. इसको बोल सकते हैं, वर्ड होता है इसके, ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच. योर ओन अप्रोच अबाउट थिंग्स एंड हाउ दे शुड वर्क. एक होता है ना अपनी कंशाइस से सोचना कि वो किस तरह से काम करेगी. बट यहाँ पे इस बुक में बहुत ज़्यादा ये चीज़ मेंशन की गई है कि दे हैड अ वेरी ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच टू थिंग्स. They chose things as per their taste. So the thing is, आज के टाइम में a lot of companies, they have hired psychologists to work about their designs, what people like, based on the studies they have conducted over the years, based on the experience of someone. Designs are done that way.
Yeah. Everyone has multiple data scientists and product
Yeah.
designers sitting there.
Now, my problem with this approach is it worked for Apple, right? A lot of good products came out because of a good taste in designing for some of their engineers. Now, would it work with everyone, every company out there?
I'm not sure, man. I think Apple has done a excellent job of maintaining a company culture, I can say, where everyone understands this taste of what Apple is trying to work
Hmm.
on right now. I guess for the listeners, one example can be when this guy Ken, right, the author of the book, he
Hmm.
was working on the iPad keyboard and he made two different versions of
Yeah.
the iPad keyboard, right? And when he went to Steve,
Hmm.
of course he went to his upper management first, but then
Scott.
right, yeah, Scott. So they asked him to they liked the demo and then they went to Steve with the demo, and Steve just looked at it for a while like, okay, this is version 1, version 2, and Ken was trying to convince like, you see these beautiful animations when it goes from version 1 to 2. Steve was like, oh come on, don't be kidding me. And he essentially asked him to pick one, and Ken said, yeah, I actually like the version 1 a little more than version 2. And Steve was like, yeah, let's just run with it. So that was one example for your point from the book. Is that a correct example based on your point?
काइंड ऑफ बट ठीक है, ये एप्पल के केस में चल गया.
हाँ.
आई गेस देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज जिसके केस में ये चीज़ नहीं चली होगी. दे डिड अ डिसीजन. एप्पल के केस में ही चलते हैं. देर वॉज अ वर्जन ऑफ मैक कीबोर्ड दैट डिडंट वर्क आउट. डिड इट?
Yeah. See, I think why it worked is because Steve was openly doing these demos in the company. I think that's why they worked. I've read another book, it's called Insanely Simple.
Okay.
It is similar to creative selection, but it's around the marketing side of things in Apple, not the development sides of it, right? So, what that guy discusses in that book is that whenever they would do like a marketing campaign for Apple, whether it would be for iPod or the MacBook Air at that time, whatever they was releasing, what they could do is they could create a small demo of the gist of the advertisement, how it would look like, and they could just show it to their upper management and then do a demo with Steve, right? And Steve would just say like, this is good, work more on this, this is just crappy, get rid of this. And because of this, one thing was that people could work on multiple things, and then just in the end everything is going through Steve, right? He was looking at it all, he was aware of all the things that were going on based on the books I have read, right? That was one reason it all worked, because if multiple people are designing based on their heuristics, it won't work, right? But when you have multiple people designing based on their heuristics, but then you have Steve sitting on top filtering them, right? Then it could work out because you have one person with one vision and they would all match up essentially. I think it worked for Apple because Steve was so openly doing these demos and he was so informal with everyone that he would just sit, look at their work and give them feedback on it.
Right. But I agree to your point. But let's say there is a new person in the company. Now, at the start, they didn't have a lot of people who were designing a lot of things, right?
Mhm.
Let's say in between, they hired someone who has a specialty in developing a feature, developing something in a certain way. He has a degree and he has a process that he follows, and as per the process, he comes to a conclusion.
Mhm.
Now you already have people who are working with ये सही है. How are you
Huh.
gonna make them compatible?
Yeah, I guess the only way is I've seen multiple cases where someone really good was hired at Apple. Some examples are in the Insanely Simple book, that someone was really good at what they do and they were hired by Apple and they ran with their heuristics, right? Like Apple does, that they would work on something, they would put their heart out, and then Steve would look at it. And Steve did not like some of them, honestly. And he had good reasons on why he did not like them. And some examples from what I know, they ended up leaving Apple after that. Because one, it's good for the company, because they have this culture, right? And everyone in the company is kind of knitted into that culture. And it's also good for the individual, right? They don't have to force themselves to start thinking from the Apple way, right? Of course, there would be a lot of people who learned from everyone's approach there, right? Who try to learn from how Apple designs products, and then they slowly got into that state of mind. But I'm pretty sure people left because they were really good at what they did, but they just didn't resonate with the way Apple did things.
I have one more problem with this approach, the heuristic. That I think it works on me. I'm not sure. They are great guys. They are legends in their fields. That might not apply to them. But I'm telling from personal experience, the heuristic approach works a lot on your confidence. Let's say you were given a task X and you successfully put it to bed. The task Y, the second task, and you had a home run with it. And then a string of failures come in. Like the third task, the fourth task, the fifth task. You failed at them miserably. The choices you made were bad. In that scenario, how would they be able to justify this? Like, it's a confidence game, right? जैसे ही तुम्हारे कुछ डिसीजंस गलत जाने लगेंगे ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच में, यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग एनी स्पेसिफिक थिंग, यू आर गोइंग बाय योर गट.
Yeah, your confidence will start
Yeah.
to go down.
Yeah, in that case, company will also go down. Don't you think so? In the long run, is the heuristic approach a right approach? मतलब it looks very magical and it's fun when it is success. But once एक दो जगह गलत हो गया फिर क्या करेंगे?
I don't have a concrete answer on this. My take is that eventually you do need someone to essentially be the gatekeeper of the design of the products, right? Like Apple had Johnny Ive in their team for last about 10 to 15 years, I guess. He recently left, like
Okay.
2016, 17, as far as I know. So then you have this one person governing the design side of things. People still have freedom, they can come up with their ideas, but then this person has set out a design language for things that they want to work on. That's why if you look at all these products, right, the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or the iMac, they all have a sense of similarity
Yeah.
to them,
I
right?
agree.
And when do you remember the jump from iOS 6 to 7?
No,
When-
I don't.
Oh,
I'm not the Apple
alright.
person.
So essentially, it was like Android going from KitKat to Lollipop, which had material design
Oh,
and stuff like
that
that,
must have felt great.
right? So I think that was also when Johnny Ive started working on iOS. Essentially, he gave out a design language that the icons, the screens should work in this way, and then people started to still have their views, but also try to fit their views in this design language. So I
Yeah.
guess eventually people do, or not people, organizations do have a design language. Also, as they grow, if there are only a few people in the company or on a project, they can still talk about, discuss their ideas and come up with something, right? If there are a lot of people and they would all have different ideas, and if they are asked to make anything, right? Say there is a team of people, they have to design a horse. I'm giving
Horse?
a really bad example here. See,
Really
there is
bad.
there is a team of people that they have been asked to design a horse, right? So one team creates one of the legs. It's like a really muscular leg, right?
Ooh.
The other team has their own heuristics. Now they have like this thin, lean leg of a horse which runs at like 50 miles per hour. Right? That is why I guess eventually when you're growing, you need to define a design language, and everyone tries to fit their ideas into that design language. That's my take on it.
But that's not heuristic, right? This is a proper way in which you are following. You have a DNA that everyone is following. It's not heuristic. Heuristic is मैं करेगा, मेरे स्टाइल में करेगा.
अच्छा, yeah, I don't think that would work मेरे हिसाब से in long term, that everyone is just doing मैं करेगा मेरे हिसाब से करेगा.
So kind of इस बुक में मुझे मतलब सबके लिए अलग अलग मैसेज हो सकते हैं. मेरे लिए मैसेज मुझे कहीं ना कहीं फील हुआ कि ये चीज़ रखा है कि द मैजिक हैपन्स व्हेन यू लेट योर क्रिएटिविटी फ्लो, विच इज़ राइट. आई डोंट मतलब डिसएग्री विद दिस,
Yeah,
बट थोड़ा मैजिकल हो जाता है, थोड़ा फिक्शनल वर्ल्ड में पहुंच जाते हैं.
for sure. I bet it was not that easy. Like ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि एप्पल में कोई भी जाएगा कि like मैं ये बना के लाऊंगा and then सब बोलेंगे हाँ बहुत बढ़िया. कहीं ना कहीं तो होगा कि राइट लाइक दिस इज नॉट गुड, don't do this, do it this way, and then that person will go and there were examples in the book about this as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Where the heuristic of one person was just put down, like, okay, this is bad, go
Yeah.
back, do it this way.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess it's good to promote creativity, but then that doesn't mean that every time you do something it'll go to production.
So the last of your points was that it's not as simple as it seems. That's my third point. The book talks about working at Apple and how everyone is hard working and how पता नहीं कैसे मैजिक से सब कुछ हो गया. तुमने सोचा, तुमने कुछ किया एंड दिस इज़ अ प्रोडक्ट. तुमने यहाँ से ऊपर डेमो दिया, डेमो में हाँ ना या फिर कुछ चीज़ें आई, तुमने उसके हिसाब से सब चीज़ें अचीव कर ली. But here is my pain point with this book, that it's oversimplify things. Like कुछ चीज़ें तुम जब खुद से करते हो ना, you realize there is a lot of effort that went into achieving that state. तुम जहाँ पे जो चीज़ बना रहे हो, there is a lot of hard work that has been done. So can no harms done, nothing. Your book was great, but कहीं ना कहीं there was an oversimplification of how things work in Apple.
Yeah,
It is painted in such a positive image, like Apple is so good in this. I guess there will be a lot of burnouts and a lot of people that were working there. They were so demotivated in a way how the company has been working, which is not fun in that sense. What are your views about it?
I'm sure there would definitely be sorry, there would definitely be the other side of it, where someone did not enjoy working at Apple at all, right? But that guy has not written a book, so we don't know how that journey was. So yeah, I guess it's just, I'm pretty sure there would be people who did not enjoy working at Apple, right? And even this is a very funny story. I don't know if this is the correct place. Maybe we'll chop it off later.
Okay.
If it doesn't fit. But you have heard about the UFO building, right? That Apple has in Cupertino.
Okay.
Their office, right? It's like a donut on like a huge piece of land. And everyone just talks about it positively, right? Oh, there are these huge glass windows, stuff like that. And we have only seen positive talks of it. But then there was this one employee, I don't know if it was, where did I read it? Maybe Twitter, probably Twitter.
Okay.
That a lot of employees are really mad with that office. They hate it. When they're walking around, it's all glass, right? So they don't know if the doors are open or closed. They just bang their face right into the door.
Oh, reminded me one of the parties, and everyone thought I was drunk.
And people, there were I think it was Twitter. The post literally stated that a lot of employees hate that new office. Like, it's so hard to navigate in that glass. What do we call it? Like a glass maze. Let's call it that.
Is. Let's call it that.
Yeah, but the most of the people tweeting about the office only talk about the positive parts of it. And I guess the same thing is about the culture as well. There are the people who did not enjoy it don't really get the exposure. Yeah, that's my take on it.
I guess it would be very interesting if they would have talked about the effects of how Steve's demanding created a problem for a lot of employees. Like, he was very demanding.
Oh, I'm sure he created a lot of problems.
So, it's a fun discussion.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess then we would be going off topic from the book.
Too much deep and too much into the Steve Jobs.
Yeah, aside, right, कि Steve Jobs का एक बार start किया तो the masala, we can talk about it all day. Yeah, let's carry on.
Let's carry on.
6 minutes in.
Oh, dude. So, what's with the culture change? At the end, the Ken exit the company, I think in the 2017 or 18. So in the book,
I do not remember. Let's take 17, right? Let's go.
Let's take it 17. So the book talk about it, and it's such a political statement that he have put forward. Okay, like he left the company because the kind of culture that they have in the past is not there at right now, which is obvious after the death of Steve Jobs. The philosophy has changed a little bit,
Oh,
but
I'm sure it has changed a lot.
but the way he has put it forward, it's like कि, he put it very neutrally, neither in the positive sense nor in the negative sense. He put it like it changed.
Yeah. I guess they cannot talk much about it.
What do you think went bad? What happened? Why did he left company? I think अगर ये positive way में change होता, why would he have left the company?
I can't say if it is positive or negative.
Hmm.
It is different. That's what I would say. Right? A lot of things have changed in the last decade for Apple, right? Like they used to be the company who said they would only release one phone every year and that would be like their best phone. But now they
Yeah.
do about 4 phones. They just released 4 different models of the iPhone 12, not just last year. So, and then they did the iPhone SE as well last year. So, and they are still selling the iPhone 11, the iPhone 10R. So the policies have definitely changed, and the way the company looks at the market, I'm sure it has changed.
Yeah.
And
ये बुक में भी बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्कस हुआ है कि लेट्स मेक इट सिंपल. You are going for a product, let's make it as simple as possible. Like in one of the chapters, in one of the starting chapters, they were talking about 2 keyboard layout. We have talked about this, right? They picked one of the options, but I guess that was Steve's Apple. अब कुक के टाइम में, टिम कुक के टाइम में, I don't see them just pushing away one of the layout that they have made. They would have made it exclusive to some of their products. Like iPad Pro has 2 keyboard layouts that you can select from. This is the new feature, and
Yeah.
this is I resonate with you on this. कि they have changed in the product portfolio, especially. Like पहले उनका सिर्फ एक product होता था, and that has everything. Now they have an iPad and iPad Pro and what else they have?
there's a mini, there's
They're
an
mini
iPad,
and
iPad Air, there's an iPad Pro, and there's an iPad Pro 12.5 inch.
like what? And this is not even this. In the MacBook range, there are a lot of options that you can choose.
Yeah, I really feel that if they really believe in that simple thing, when they launched this M1 MacBook Air and Pro, the only difference between those is that the Pro has a fan, right? And the performance is very similar between the Air and the Pro because
Yeah.
the M1 chip doesn't really require that much of cooling. And I really think they could have merged those two products at that time.
So have they moved away from the creative selection kind of stuff?
I bet they are still creative. The selection
Selection.
is more diverse now.
Oh God,
They are not that selective. They are
This is
fine
so-
with more product
so
lines.
controversial.
Definitely. And I guess we'll see more of it in the coming days.
Yeah,
They're expanding their portfolio like crazy.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So that's all from the
my
book.
answer.
Yeah, that's all from the book as well.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. That's
That
all
was
the
a really
topic.
fun discussion. I'm pretty sure we can talk for like an hour more about it, but let's stop it here.
हम यहाँ पे बहते नहीं है स्टीव जॉब्स को लेके. Let's keep the discussion for a later
हाँ,
podcast, especially for
हाँ.
Steve Jobs.
Definitely. But just one last point. There was this interview that Tim Cook was doing, and Tim Cook has been a really good CEO, right?
Right.
What is their value now? Like 3 trillions, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, close to that. Yeah.
Right, and 2/3 of it came from the Tim Cook era. So Tim Cook has handled business really well. But when an interviewer asked him, would you be around for the next 10 years? Even after next 10 years. So he said probably no. So I guess we'll see another change in the next 10 years. There's a hint.
Yeah. Well, companies have to evolve, right? In the 90s era, IBM was the top company, but as the leadership changed, they have lost their position.
Yeah,
The same is true for every company. Let's see who comes on the top in the next 10 years.
The person who's listening to this, let us know who you think would be the Apple CEO after Tim
Yeah.
Cook. Will it be Phil Schiller, Craig Federighi, or if Apple will stay at the top even after Tim Cook is gone? I bet he won't be gone, but he'll be replaced at the CEO position.
या चेयरमैन पोजीशन होती है ना सबके लिए, हर कोई चेयरमैन पोजीशन की तरफ शिफ्ट कर जाता है व्हेन दे हैव
हाँ, मतलब सुबह उठ के आएंगे तो एप्पल के ऑफिस में ही वो. आई बेट ही वोंट गो एनीवेयर.
या
Cool. So we are done with the book related topics, right?
या लेट्स समराइज इट,
Yeah, you want to do it?
लेट्स डू इट टुगेदर.
कैसे?
कैसे, हम पहले टॉपिक के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. हमने सबसे पहले ये डिस्कस किया कि व्हाट्स अबाउट ओपन सोर्स, द बैटल ऑफ ओपन सोर्स दैट कंपनीज हैज स्टार्टेड डूइंग. तो आई गेस उसका हमने यही कंक्लूजन निकाला कि कंपनीज विल यूज दैम बट इन अ वे कि दे हैव टू बेयरली, मतलब एक होता है ना, एक बेसिक सी कंट्रीब्यूशन करनी पड़े एंड दे रीप द बेनिफिट्स आउट ऑफ इट.
Yeah, and they'll keep doing it.
Yeah, they will keep doing it.
Yeah.
The second was heuristic approach. It is great, worked for Apple, not for everyone.
And even for Apple, I bet they had to change a few things after a while. Yeah. Third one?
Third one was working at Apple and how it could be burning for some, great for some, and that's life.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fourth one was cultural change. अभी डिस्कस किया.
हाँ, फ्रेश अभी याद ही होगा, उसको समराइज करने की जरूरत पड़नी नहीं चाहिए.
I guess you should summarize. Some people should summarize into the comments.
Yeah. Summarize it in the comments.
Homework.
Homework दे रहा है. चलो टीचर जी, let's jump into the random section now.
Oh yeah. What do you have in store?
So we still don't have a name for it. I want to call it straight nothing. The random section. You seem to be so disappointed.
Nah, feels like I should go to sleep.
We'll think of a better name. Okay, let's come up with the name for this by the next episode. Cool. Let's quickly jump into the first topic.
Okay.
So it is related to AirTags versus Tile. So Tile is this another tracker company, right? They're making these trackers for your non-smart devices so that they can be tracked smartly from, I think, a lot of years. And when Apple released their AirTags, they can essentially use their whole iPhone network, right? And there are 1 billion iOS devices in the world now. So AirTags have this unfair advantage almost in a way that if an AirTag is lost, its location will be updated as soon as an iPhone comes near it. And there are a lot of iPhones. So
Especially in the US.
Yeah, the Child CEO was really pissed off, and he said that this is not cool, this is anti-competitive. And then Amazon jumps in. And then what Amazon is saying is that, okay, Tile, let's be friends. We have a common enemy. And what Amazon said was that Tile can now start using all of Amazon's Alexa network, Alexa smart devices network, for their devices as well. I guess that definitely counts their Alexa, what is it called? The Alexa smart home network, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it also counts the Alexa app on the phones. I'm not sure about that.
But there are barely anyone using Alexa app.
Yeah, sure. I have it.
I have it, but I just mark it as disabled. I use Google Home.
Do you think this will be helpful, Amazon pairing up with Tile? Apple should be scared about it, or doesn't make any change?
There's nothing to be scared about for Apple. But yes, for Tiles, it's a moral support. Like, पहले से better होगा, but ये नहीं है कि it gives them a fighting chance against someone like Apple.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess Apple is a very anti-competitive in a way, but then they try to not sound like anti-competitive.
They give you choices.
Yeah, they give you choices, but those choices are shit. You don't want to take those choices. You just want to go with Apple.
and whatever choice you take, you eventually feel that the Apple product is just better. You
Yeah.
should go with that one.
Hmm.
So, but there is another thing I wanted to discuss along with this topic. And if we, take a look at the bigger picture,
Hmm.
I'm sure Apple could have done AirTags last year, maybe the year before that. But I think one of the reasons was that they must have been waiting to hit this 1 billion number, and then they can show it, right, that we have 1 billion devices out there in the network already. And now if you buy an AirTag, it will be a perfect integration with it,
It's like a fantasy come true for a PR guy.
right?
Right.
And from what I see is that Apple is an excellent example of a patient
Company. Yeah.
right? They never do products because of FOMO, right? There are so many companies like they would put a notch in their phone, they would put a hole punch in their phone, they would start removing the headphone jacks, and now I bet a lot of company will be making these trackers like what is it called, AirTags, because of the FOMO reasons, right? They also want to be a part of the wave, but Apple never really does it. They have a plan, like a 10 to 20 year plan, and they are going to stick to their plan. They don't care.
I guess
do you
they do, but they take their time. They take their time, and the products that they release are usually very well done out of gate. Like the iPhones, the Apple Watch, the AirPods, and the iOS. They have done a really good job of implementing them and creating them in a way that's very useful and that is very consistent and very well performing.
Yeah.
I guess this is the point that most companies are not really nailing. They release the products that are half baked. Just look at the OnePlus watch that we have seen recently. They have a motto of never settle, and it's a
Let's
watch you
settle.
should not settle. Yeah, let's settle. What was that?
Yeah. And I feel this was another example, in my opinion, can be the iPhone SE. So Apple released the iPhone SE before releasing the iPhone SE. Let me put it this way. They created this excellent network of people using the iPhones, right? And earlier iPhone, if they would do like a cheaper iPhone, it could not really compete with Android, because Android, if you go cheaper, you still have phones which are quite fast, I guess. Quite fast. They work well. They work decently, not well, right? And if you go about 7 to 8 years back, you would still buy an Android phone for a cheap price. You would not really buy an iPhone for like a cheap price, like 20 to 25,000,
But
right?
that was the magnet for iPhones, right? They are the pinnacle of luxury that only rich can buy. But now they have come down to market.
What they did was they set up their ecosystem now, right? So you know that all of your friends are using AirDrop, they use iMessage, all of these things, right? And now when you go out to buy a phone, even if it is only say 40,000 Indian rupees or $400 in the US, now you have the iPhone SE sitting there. Now you want to become a part of that Apple family, and now you would buy the iPhone SE, even if it is not as good looking as the Android counterparts. They waited it out. They have their ecosystem ready, and now they have the iPhone SE.
I guess it's about the ecosystem, right? Pehle, iPhone was the main product. iPhone was the product of Apple. Like they were the main product that they were selling for a long period of time. But now they have moved to subscription based model, and now they just want iPhone to provide a platform for a lot of people to connect to their subscription based services. I guess they have moved on in that respect. And just look at the numbers. I yesterday was looking. I was just browsing casually on the Twitter, and I found that in India, for a price segment of above 30,000, Apple holds around 48% of the market share. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Like that's the starting point of some of the brands like OnePlus, and Apple is just defeating them really bad right now.
I agree, because they have built this I would say like a city,
Hmm.
and now they've made it easier to become a citizen of that city,
Hmm.
and people are just getting in. Earlier, you wouldn't want to be a part of that city.
Earlier, it was like only premium people, only rich people are allowed into the city. Now, it is open for everyone, and people are just getting lured into that city out of the richness factor
Yeah,
that comes
yeah.
with it.
But I'll get back to my point that I was trying to state,
Hmm.
that Apple does not do products just because of FOMO. They
Hmm.
have a plan, right?
Right.
And they will stick to that plan,
Hmm.
which
Okay.
I really like. Like, even in terms of, say, personal growth, right?
Hmm.
Instead of just, hopping from one job to another, investing in random crypto coins just because people are talking about it, have a plan
Hmm.
and then go with that. That's what I wanted to come down to with this discussion.
Cool. That's cool. I've lost light.
Oh, no electricity.
Just got it back.
Congrats.
Hmm.
I just plugged in my laptop. It is running out of battery.
Okay. We will cut this part.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's move to topic number 2,
And which is?
which is a more controversial one.
Okay.
But you see this, the way India has been hit by the second wave of COVID-19,
Hmm.
and the situation is really bad. I hope this passes soon,
Yeah.
and everyone stay inside, stay safe. Keep talking to your friends and family, making sure
Hmm.
they're all right.
Hmm.
But what I want to discuss about is that, do you think that there was this thing, right, that a lot of people from the elite layer of the country were leaving because they found that the culture or the system is better in some other places? Do you think
Okay.
that will increase now after this?
You mean brain drain will increase now?
Yeah, will the brain drain increase after the way India has gone through COVID-19?
Hmm. I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
Let's do 2 points. Give me 2 points why you don't think so.
The number one point is, it is not that only India is affected by it. We have seen the same scenario in US and the other European countries played out a year ago. Like, अभी यहाँ पे बिल्कुल fresh है, and we are very enraged with the situation that is going on, the failure and collapse of our medical healthcare system. But it has also happened to other countries. Although
Yeah.
I agree with the fact कि उनके पास that happened only in the first wave, and in our case it's different. We have the second wave, and somehow our system was still not ready for the second wave. So yes, a fraction of people will go outside the country, but then they will all anyway go to other countries. There is a tiny fraction. I don't think in the longer run of game, a lot of people will leave the country.
Yeah.
It's not about कि यहाँ पे governments कैसी हैं. It's about the families. It's about the relatives. It's about the friends and the environment that we get around us. That kind of makes us live in this country.
Yeah.
Like, there are better countries out there. They will provide a better standard of living, and your life will be better in general. But would you have the same friends in other countries? Would you have the same relations or the relatives or the same kind of culture in those countries? I guess those kind of people won't leave the country. But
That's a good
उसके
point.
अलावा जो जाने वाले थे वो तो जाएंगे.
That's a good point. I have 2 points specifically regarding this thing.
Okay.
So, I guess just the fact that we are having a hard time fighting COVID-19, or I guess it's a new strain, right? It should be called COVID-21 or something, right? Okay, let's not sidetrack. I tend to sidetrack from topics, man. I need to improve on that. Cool. So what I was saying is that it's not just the way we are having a hard time fighting through this. It's also the way some other things are being prioritized right now in the country, which are demanding big budgets, there are some other things which are being prioritized, which demanded collecting a lot of people in small places, even though we have this disaster going on. I think these things will push people to believe that it's not just COVID-19, it's also the system which is not. The system just doesn't want to handle it well. If that feeling creeps in that we have a problem and the system is not interested in solving it, that might push more people. But then I have another side to it, and then you can give me your opinion on both.
Okay.
There are also a bunch of tweets. Another request from some listeners was that whatever we talk about, we should link some of them in the comments. Not the comments, the description. So this time we will do timestamps, and this we will try to link most of the stuff that we talk about. A lot of people say that they are stuck outside in Canada, or where do people get stuck? Singapore,
Yeah.
Europe,
Canada is the main country.
right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that they are in other countries
Hmm.
and their whole family, their relatives are suffering here,
Hmm.
and they want to be with them. That is the other aspect which might, which might push families to start living in the same place instead of going to different places. So I had one point against it, one in support of it. I don't have a conclusion. Again, we can't really decide this, right? We can't give a conclusion, but we can give our thoughts. What do you think of these 2 points?
I agree, I totally agree with the second point. But the first point, like the system is failing and they have this realization, this will sooner or later come and they will leave the country. Let's be realistic. It's not about COVID. It's about everything, and sooner or later people will realize कि ये सिर्फ कोविड के बारे में नहीं है. हमने टाइम एंड अगेन ये देखा है कि ये चीज़ होती है हमारी कंट्री में, एंड दिस विल हैपन अगेन एंड अगेन.
Because it's not like you tried to fight it really hard and you failed. Did you even try your best?
Yeah.
That is, I guess, what it comes down to.
एंड मेरे को नहीं लगता हमारी जनरेशन में इट वुड बी पॉसिबल टू अचीव दैट. मे बी इन द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन इफ पीपल आर टॉट इन अ वे based on the experience of other people in our generation, then maybe the system will improve.
I guess when the political system completely has one cycle done and there are new people
Yeah.
there from the next generation. Yeah, maybe. Let's have hope.
Yeah.
The world runs on hope.
Yes, hope is a big thing.
Not sure good or bad. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. You have any random topic that you need to talk about for straight nothing?
Not today. Next one में कुछ एक मिर्च मसाला वाले टॉपिक है.
सही है, चलो बढ़िया. So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So friends, that was the episode for today. We talked about one of my favorite books, which was Creative Selection. I hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any thoughts around it, you have any thoughts around how what you think of Apple, what you think of Steve Jobs, and what you think of what will happen to Apple in the coming years, drop them in the comments below. Of course, in the YouTube. If you are on Spotify, our sympathy is with you. You can't really drop comments anywhere. Be sure to email the comments to us, to straightreads@gmail.com. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, nice job, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, Abhishek and Hiteshwar signing off from second episode of Straight Reads.
Peace.
Bye.